It's been said that people change by inspiration or desperation. So you have to ask yourself, did we change because we were inspired to change, or did we change because we had to change? And I would say through COVID, we've changed out of desperation. I mean, how many companies said we can never go remote 100% because we need you in the office, and then within 24 hours, no one's there, right? So what happens in times of desperation, like Marcus Aurelius said once, is that we need to be connected, we need to support each other, and we need to find solutions together under desperation. So the question is, are we finding solutions through this desperate times? I would say yes and no, because human nature is always focused on 6 major parts of our survival, and that is the fear of poverty, the fear of old age, criticism, loss of love of someone they love, basically, fear of poor health, and the fear of death. I would say out of all those 6 things, 4 of them are literally in our environment every day. So how do you help your employees, and how do you help people that are constantly being reminded of those 4 elements that are basically out of their control to some extent? At least they're being told that. When you see the news and you see how we look at the calamities of everything, you can see why these fears are always in the subconscious of your employees and maybe even yourself. And when these things happen, we tend to find ourselves in a stress mode continuously. And ironically, even though the US is one of the freest countries in the world, it is the highest in depression outside of Japan. And even since COVID, depression has increased by 400% in this country. So the goal is to really understand that we need to tap into what matters most to people. And guess what? It's not the job. It has nothing to do with the job. It has everything to do with how they feel about themselves and about where they're going. So here's a couple of tricks I want to share with you. You want to think about who influenced you growing up. Was it some analytical person, or was it somebody like your mother or father or someone who cared for you? You know, who influenced you in your career? Is it someone who knows the business, or was it somebody who really listened to who you were and what you had to say? You know, who influences you now? Is this someone who takes time and doesn't talk so much and listens? Or is it someone who just tells you what you need to do? I bet you all of us have answered the questions the same way. So the goal is to think about that. We live in an emotional society, and we're emotional creatures. So the goal for us today is to think like emotions. Be emotional. Sorry, leaders, be emotional. Don't be so rigid, don't be so professional that you can't show your emotions. Share who you are, share your fears if you want your employees to share theirs. And the only way you're going to do that is be it first so they can mirror that. So I want you to just think about that, because this is really where leadership is going. It has nothing to do with your business, has everything to do with who you are as an individual. Thank you.